Hey everybody, this is 22 Tiger Dude. Welcome to Animation Domination Reviews. And now I'm going to start off with the Bob's Burgers episode, The Kids Rob a Train. So the Kids Rob a Train is when the Belchers take a break from running the restaurant. They go to this wine train. But the kids aren't allowed on the train, so they're kept in this little secret room. They really have nothing. The room is crap. They want to get chocolate, so they're on a mission to just steal all the chocolates. I had a blast watching this episode. The kids' plot is really fun, and I really enjoyed the Bob plot too. I enjoyed that plot, but the kids' plot I honestly enjoyed more just because their plot was more fun, more adventurous. All they had to do was just go sneak into the kitchen and steal all these chocolates and then sneak back into the room without anyone noticing. I just thought how that was handled was very nice. It was just a very funny episode. I laughed a lot at a lot of the humor. The storyline kept me very interested. My only flaws with this episode is that Tina does get a little annoying sometimes. There are just parts where she just says the stupidest shit coming out of her mouth. In the Bob and Linda plot, there's this character named Rick where he apparently knows the wines, and he and Bob have like a little wine off, which is interesting, and I enjoyed how the plot concluded, by the way. That was really funny. But I did think the Rick character, he was a jerk. He got on my nerves, and I just really didn't like the character. Nothing much wrong with the episode, honestly, other than those couple of flaws I mentioned. Overall, I had a blast watching this episode. It was just so much fun, and it's great to see an episode that doesn't focus on the restaurant at all. The ending to the episode was hilarious too. I was just laughing by the time the episode hit to the end credits. I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10. Now I'm here to review the American Dad episode, Stan Goes on the Pill. This episode is about when Stan takes this experimental drug, but it turns him into a woman. This American Dad episode, I'm gonna say it's weird. I do enjoy the overall plot. I thought how they executed it, for the most part, it was done very well. And it was just pretty interesting to see what Stan would be like as a woman. I didn't care for the Roger Klaus plot. I was bored with the plot. But the biggest flaw that did really bring down my rating for this episode, it's still good. It's still good. But it was starting when Stan left with Avery. Because without going into details, things get cooking between the two of them in bed. Yeah, that's all I'm going to tell you guys. I don't want you guys to feel awkward. Yeah. Wow, look what this episode has done to me. Even I feel awkward just talking about this episode. But overall, I do enjoy this episode. I'm sorry if I didn't have that much to say. I don't care for the Klaus and Roger plot. All they do is just try to sell Stan's clothes just because Stan's a woman now. That's all you get. A lot of funny moments, but really coming from the whole part of Stan being a woman. When it gets to the Avery and Stan plot, that's where the episode did lose me. How the episode is executed for the most part overall, I do like it. I'm going to go ahead and give the episode a 7 out of 10. After doing some thinking, it is a good episode, but it's really where that very awkward moment happens that kind of makes you go, ooh, what do I really think about this? Just keep in mind, do not watch this episode with your parents. Please. Just don't. Now I'm here to review the Simpsons episode, You Don't Have to Live Like a Referee. This episode is about when Lisa has to make a speech about who her hero is, but she couldn't come up with the hero, so at the very last minute, she decides to make Homer her hero. Even though she really wasn't so sure about Homer, she was actually having a lot of doubts, but she just went with him at the last minute and tried to come up with something nice, and she was able to. Now, what I really liked about the moment she made the speech is how she actually did a few callbacks from the previous Simpsons episodes. That literally made me go, yes, yes, yes. Just the fact that the callbacks make me happy. But back to the plot. After Lisa makes her very powerful speech about Homer, Homer is actually recruited to be the World Cup referee, so the Simpsons family travel to Brazil. But with one of South America's slickest gangsters, Homer's honesty is tested. I was entertained by the episode. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. I did have an enjoyable time with it, but as an episode overall, it is very lacking in terms of a plot. The kind of bland, actually. The plot isn't really anything too new, and it is predictable. You know what's going to come. At the end of the day, you know that Lisa values her father, which is a very repetitive thing because we see that a lot. Also, I do have to point out this flaw. How could Lisa really not know that her father is good? Yes, Homer, he is stupid, but you know what? Homer is a good father, and the fact that Lisa actually forgot all the things Homer sacrificed for her, it did get me bothered. I'm glad she mentioned a few of the callbacks, especially the Lisa's Pony episode. That's a great episode. It's one of my favorites. And when she made that callback, that really got to me. But it just bugged me that she couldn't think of anything good of Homer until the very last minute. The episode does get very boring in some moments as well. It really drags on. And just some of the moments just weren't very interesting. Just purely for the fact the storyline was kind of bland. There's not that much to really grab you or interest you. My only positive for the episode is that there are some funny moments. It was enjoyable to see Homer being the World Cup referee, and of course Lisa making her speech about Homer and her making those few callbacks from the previous Simpsons episode. I really loved that. But overall, the episode, it's nothing too special. It just could have been a lot better. So I'll give this episode a 6.5 out of 10. I had an enjoyable time with it, but it's really not that special, in my opinion at least. Now I'm here to review the Family Guy episode, Secondhand Spoke. This episode is about when Peter is asked to be in this anti-smoking campaign. When Peter started smoking and he looks like shit. Meanwhile, Stewie helps Chris face bullies at school. I really like this Family Guy episode. I had a lot of fun. I was very entertained by it. I'm gonna go ahead and just say my flaws, get them out of the way. I gotta say, I know it starts the whole plot of the episode, but how it started was so stupid. Peter starts smoking. You know why? Just because you could take a little break. Once Peter started smoking because of that reason, my face was literally all like, oh my god. So yeah, that was dumb. And how Peter wouldn't stop smoking was ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong, I actually really enjoyed the plot. I know it sounds like I'm bashing, but no, it's just those couple of things in the plot that bugged me, but I did enjoy the plot. There were funny moments in that plot that kept me entertained. It was quite disturbing to see Peter just have a very grayish looking face. He just looked terrible. That's all I'm going to say. The plot, I will say, I actually enjoyed a little more, though, is the Stewie and Chris plot. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we finally get a plot where Stewie helps Chris. It's been a long time since that happened. Man. The last time Stewie actually helped Chris with something, I can't remember. What is it exactly? I know from the back of my head.
You must impress that ultra booming, all consuming, poorly grooming, Down Cinderella girl.
Oh, that's right. That Down syndrome girl episode. I actually believe that's the last time we actually saw Stewie help Chris. Holy fuck, that's been a long time. Anyways, back to the point. Stewie has to help Chris face bullies, so that was really enjoyable. I also really enjoyed how it teaches a lesson about how bullies could get to you, and sometimes bullies can make you the bully. And like, it's even expressed towards the end that Chris is being a bully to Stewie because he keeps trapping him inside his backpack. To me, Chris trapping Stewie in his backpack isn't a flaw to me, because I felt like, in a way, him being a bully was necessary. Like, just trapping Stewie in the backpack, because I thought it offered something to the storyline, and I thought it was nice. And it's not like Chris was being like extremely brutal compared to how all the other characters were in the past. But I was just really intrigued by the episode's overall message. I enjoyed the main plot, but I enjoyed the subplot even more. And just for God's sakes, it's so good to see a Chris and Stewie plot again. Overall, this is a really good episode. There are some misses in humor. I'm going to give the episode an 8.5 out of 10. It was really great.